Assalamu alaikum. Hi, how are you? I hope you're fine. Today's lesson is going to be about grammar. So, let's start. Now, let's revise the previous lesson. والآن دعنا نراجع الدرس الماضي. Match the words with their equivalent. صل الكلمات بما يعادلها. Typewriter, kitchen, science fiction writer. Okay, so typewriter, which one is the typewriter? Very good. Excellent. Now the next one, kitchen. Very good. Kitchen appliances. أدوات المطبخ. And the last one, science fiction writer. Julius Verne. He's a science fiction writer. Lesson goals. أهداف الدرس. The student will be able to. الطالب سيكون قادر على 1. Use will and going to in the affirmative and negative form. استخدام will و going to في المثبت والنفي. Number 2. Identify the differences between will and going to. التعرف على الاختلاف ما بين will و going to. Number 3. Identify the future progressive tense. التعرف على زمن المستقبل المستمر. Number 4. Practice on some exercises. التدرب على بعض التمارين. Open your book, page 36. افتح كتابك صفحة 36. Future with will or be going to. المستقبل مع will و be going to. وكلاهما تعني سوف. What does be mean in be going to? ماذا تعني كلمة be في عبارة be going to؟ It means am, is, are. تعني am و is و are. We use will or be going to make predictions about the future. نستخدم be و going to لتوقع المستقبل. For example, مثال: Fast food restaurants will catch on. Fast food restaurants are going to catch on. Affirmative and negative. المثبت والنفي. First, the affirmative. أولاً المثبت. Fast food restaurants will catch on. Fast food restaurants are going to catch on. This is the affirmative. Why? Because it doesn't have not in it. هذه مثبتة. لماذا؟ لأنها لا تحمل النفي فيها. The negative. Fast food restaurants won't catch on. Fast food restaurants aren't going to catch on. Now in this one we added not in it. في هذه أضفنا not. Now the short form of will not is won't. الصيغة القصيرة من will not هي won't. Now the question form. الآن صيغة السؤال. If you want to change it to a question with will, you have to put it in the beginning. لكي تحولها إلى صيغة سؤال مع will تضعها في المقدمة. You say will fast food restaurants catch on and then a question mark. ولا تنسى أن تضع علامة استفهام في آخر السؤال. With be going to, you have to put the be at the beginning. You say are fast food restaurants going to catch on and then the question mark. مع going to تضع be في المقدمة فتبدأ ب are fast food restaurants going to catch on ولا تنسى علامة الاستفهام. the answer form صيغة الإجابة. There are lots of ways you can answer this one. هناك العديد من الطرق للإجابة على هذه. Either you say إما أن تقول I guess so أعتقد ذلك، I think so أعتقد ذلك، I hope so أتمنى ذلك، I don't think so لا أعتقد ذلك. Also you can say I don't know, maybe. Now let's take some exercises. الآن سنأخذ بعض التمارين. Do as shown between brackets. افعل ما هو مطلوب ما بين الأقواس. 1. He will play with us. Change to negative. Number 2. They are going to Jeddah. Change to question. So what do you do for the first one? ماذا تفعل الأولى؟ Excellent. أحسنت. He won't play with us. And number 2. What do you do? ماذا تفعل بها؟ Very good. أحسنت. Are they going to Jeddah? An additional question وسؤال إضافي. Give an affirmative and a negative answer to the previous question. Are they going to Jeddah? أعطي إجابة مثبتة وإجابة منفية للسؤال السابق. Are you going to Jeddah? What do you say? ماذا تقول؟ You can say I guess so. يمكنك القول I guess so. That's the affirmative. هذا المثبت. And you can say I don't think so. لا أعتقد ذلك. And this is the negative. وهذا هو المنفي. Now we finished with the first goal and we go into the second goal. انهينا الهدف الأول سنتجه إلى الهدف الثاني. Will versus be going to. What's the difference between will and going to? ما هو الاختلاف ما بين will و going to? We use will when we decide to do something at the time we're speaking. نستخدم will عندما نقرر فعل شيء في حال الحديث. قررت الآن سأستخدم will. If I decide now, I will use will. For example, مثال, we don't have milk. I will buy some from the store. Now in this one, I opened the fridge. I see that we don't have milk. So I decide now to buy milk. So I say I will buy some milk. في هذا المثال فتحت الثلاجة ولم أرى أن لدينا حليب. لذلك قررت الآن أن أشتري حليب ولذلك استخدمت I will. Now in going to, في going to, when we talk about something planned, عندما نتحدث عن شيء مخطط له. An example, مثال, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm going to visit my uncle. ماذا ستفعل غدا؟ أنا سأذهب وأزور عمي. Now in this one, it's planned. في هذه هي مخطط لها. I had it planned before the time of the speaking. كنت مخطط لها قبل وقت الحديث. Now the other difference, الاختلاف الآخر, to express uncertainty, often with maybe or probably. للتعبير عن عدم التيقن أو التأكد من شيء. وفي الغالب تستخدم مع ربما واحتمال. An example, مثال, what are you doing next week? The answer, I'll probably stay at home. Maybe I'll stay at home. With going to, when we are quite sure of doing something. عندما يغلب على ظننا أننا سنقوم بفعل هذا الشيء في المستقبل. Example, مثال, what are you doing next week? I'm going to study for the exam. أنا سوف أدرس الاختبار. Because I have an exam and I'm going to study for it. لأن عندي اختبار وسأقوم بالمذاكرة له. Now it's time for some exercises. الآن وقت التمارين. Choose the correct answer. اختر الإجابة الصحيحة. 1. I am going to probably buy that car. Number 2. We are going to will watch the match tomorrow. We've been waiting for it all week. So what do you choose for the first one? ماذا تختار للأولى? I will. Excellent. Why did we choose will? Because we have probably. لماذا اخترنا will؟ لوجود كلمة probably من المحتمل. Number 2. رقم 2. What do you choose? ماذا تختار؟ Excellent. We are going to. Why did we choose going to? Because in the second sentence, we've been waiting for it all week. That means they had it planned and they are certain that they are going to attend the match. لماذا اخترنا going to؟ لوجود الجملة الثانية We've been waiting for it all week. هذا معنى أنه مخطط له وكذلك قد يغلب على ظنهم أنهم سيحضرون المباراة. Now we've finished the first goal and also the second goal and we go into the third one. الآن انهينا الهدف الأول والهدف الثاني وسنتجه إلى الهدف الثالث. Future progressive. المستقبل المستمر. It's the same as future continuous. هي مثل كلمة future continuous. Sometimes people use the word progressive and sometimes people use the word continuous and it's the same. بعض المرات يستخدم الناس كلمة progressive وبعض الأحيان يستخدمون كلمة continuous وهي كلها تعني مستمر نفس الشيء. Now this is the timeline. هذا خط الزمني. Future, past, present. المستقبل, الماضي, المضارع. Now the future progressive, it's something that happened in the future at a specific time. هو شيء يحدث في المستقبل في وقت أو زمن محدد. Form الصيغة will or be going to plus be plus the verb with ing. نستخدم will أو be going to زائد be زائد الفعل مع ing. Now the verb plus ing they call it the present participle. الفعل مع ing يقال له present participle. An example, مثال, tonight at 6 p.m. we are going to be eating dinner. الليلة الساعة السادسة مساء سنتناول العشاء. Now if you look at the word tonight at 6 p.m. this is called the time marker. هذا هو الوقت المحدد الذي سيحدث فيه الحدث في المستقبل. You have to have this when you talk about the future progressive. عندما تتحدث عن المستقبل المستمر يجب أن يكون لك time marker. يجب أن تضع زمن في المستقبل. Another example, مثال آخر. They will be eating dinner tonight at 6 p.m. Now, tonight at 6 p.m. is the time marker. الزمن في المستقبل هو tonight at 6 p.m. الليلة الساعة السادسة مساء. The affirmative and the negative form. الصيغة المثبتة والصيغة المنفية. Now we have the affirmative. We finished with the affirmative. الآن أنهينا الصيغة المثبتة. And now we're going to give you the negative form. الآن سنعطيكم الصيغة المنفية. Tonight at 6 p.m. we're not going to eat dinner. Now we add the word not. أضفنا كلمة not. With will we say, مع will نقول, they won't be eating dinner tonight at 6 p.m. Question forms. صيغة السؤال. We say, tonight at 6 p.m. are we going to be eating dinner? Or you can say with will, أو ممكن أنك تقول مع will they be eating dinner tonight at 6 p.m.? Don't forget to use the question mark at the end. لا تنسى أن تضع علامة استفهام في النهاية. Now, how do you answer? كيف تجيب? There are lots of different ways to answer this one. هناك العديد من الإجابات أو طرق الإجابة عن هذا السؤال. You can say yes, I'm going to, or you can say yes, I will. Now the negative form, no, I'm not going to. Or you can say no, I won't. Also you can say maybe, probably, I don't think so. It depends on the situation. وممكن تستخدم صيغة مختلفة وهذا يعتمد على الحالة. Now let's take some exercises. الآن سنأخذ بعض التمارين. Put the verb in the future progressive. ضع الفعل في صيغة المستقبل المستمر. Number 1. Next week I blank a book. And between brackets will read. Number 2. Hassan blank to Mecca tomorrow. And then between brackets going to travel. So what do you say? Next week, I, excellent, will be reading a book. And the next one, Hassan, is going to be traveling to Mecca tomorrow. We finished with the first goal, the second one, and also the third one, and we go into the last one, the fourth. الآن هينا من الهدف الأول والثاني وكذلك الثالث، وسنتجه إلى الهدف الرابع. Now open your book, page 36. افتح كتابك صفحة 36. A. Complete the predictions about the future with the correct form of the verb. أكمل التوقعات عن المستقبل باستخدام الصيغة الصحيحة للفعل. More than one answer is possible. يمكن الإجابة بعدة طرق. 1. In 100 years, people blank on other planets. And between brackets, live. So what do you say? In 100 years, what will happen? People will be living. Also, you can use will live, are going to live, are going to be living. يمكنك تستخدم هذه الصيغ كذلك. Number 2, students blank with computers instead of books. The verb is study. So what do? Very good. Will study. And also you can use these forms. ويمكنك أن تستخدم هذه الصيغ كذلك. Number 3, cars blank on gasoline. The verb is not run. So what do? Excellent. Aren't going to run. And also you can use these 3 forms. يمكنك أن تستخدم هذه الصيغ الثلاثة. Number 4, robots blank people's lives. And the verb is not control. So what do? Very good. Won't control. You have other forms of answering this one. وهناك الصيغ الثلاث الأخرى للإجابة عن هذا السؤال. Number 5, young people blank only to smartphones. And the verb is listen. So what do you choose? Very good. Will listen. And you have these 3 forms of answering the question. كذلك لديك 3 صيغ للإجابة عن السؤال. Number 6, at the age of 50, people blank young. And you have the verb be between brackets. So, how do you answer this one? What's your answer? ما هي إجابتك? Very good. Are going to be young. Also you can use will be. يمكنك تستخدم كذلك will be. Turn to page 37. اذهب إلى صفحة 37. B. Work in groups. اعمل في مجموعات. Answer this question. أجب عن هذا السؤال. Which of the following do you think people will still be using in 50 years? أي من الأشياء التالية سيستمر الناس في استخدامها خلال 50 سنة القادمة؟ When you answer, try to use the future form and the future progressive. عند الإجابة حاول أن تستخدم صيغة المستقبل وكذلك صيغة المستقبل المستمر. Do you think people will still be using DVDs in 50 years? What's your answer? What do you think? This is an example answer. هذا مثال. I think people won't be using DVD players in 50 years. Do you think people will still be reading magazines in 50 years? I think people will stop reading magazines in 50 years. Do you think people will still be using microwave ovens in 50 years? I think people are going to still use microwave ovens in 50 years. Do you think people will still be using flat screen TVs in 50 years? I think people are going to still be using flat screen TVs in 50 years. Do you think people will still be using cell phones or smartphones in 50 years? Now in this one I'm going to leave the answer for you. في هذه سأترك الإجابة لك. Do you think people will still be writing with pens in 50 years? Also this one I'm going to leave it for you to answer. وهذه كذلك سأتركها لك للإجابة. Do you think people will still be using personal computers in 50 years? And this one also I'm going to leave it for you to answer. وهذه كذلك سأتركها لك للإجابة. C. Work with a partner. اعمل مع صديق. Ask and answer. اسأل وأجب. Which of the following do you think will be solved in the next 50 years? أي من المشاكل الآتية سيتم حلها في خلال 50 سنة القادمة؟ Add your own ideas. أضف أفكارك الخاصة. Example. مثال. A. Do you think there will be enough food for everyone in the world? B. I believe there will be. A. Do you believe there will be peace on earth? B. No, I don't. Nations are too selfish. Now these are the problems. هذه هي المشاكل. The first one, الأولى, researchers will find a cure for cancer. When you ask and answer, try to use the future form and the future progressive. عندما تضع سؤال وإجابة حاول أن تضعها في صيغة المستقبل والمستقبل المستمر. Do you think researchers will find a cure for cancer? I think they will. Global warming will melt the ice at the poles. So, do you believe global warming will melt the ice at the poles? I don't believe so, because scientists will find a way to stop global warming. The third one, الثالثة, people will be preserving the environment. So what's the question for this one? ما هو السؤال لهذا؟ Do you think people will be preserving the environment 50 years from now? I think so. Now that you know how to do it, I will leave the rest for you to answer. الآن بما أنك عرفت طريقة الإجابة سأترك الباقي لك. If you want more exercises, go to the pages from 21 to 24 in your workbook. إذا أردت المزيد من التمارين اذهب إلى كتاب النشاط من صفحة 21 إلى صفحة 24. Now we finished with the first, the second, the third and the last goal. أنهينا الهدف الأول والثاني والثالث والهدف الأخير. And don't forget our usual question. How will this lesson help you in your project? ولا تنسوا سؤالنا المعهود. كيف سيساعدك هذا الدرس في مشروعك؟ Thank you for listening. شكرا على الاستماع. وهذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. إذا أعجبكم ما قدمناه آمل منكم نشر الفيديو وكذلك الاشتراك في القناة.